Hello everyone. MSME sector is the backbone of the Indian economic structure. With around 63.4 million units throughout the country, MSMEs contribute around 6.11% of the manufacturing GDP and 24.63% of the GDP from service activities, as well as 33.4% of India's manufacturing output. Today, we are delighted to have Mr. Vijay Kalantri, President of All India Association of Industries, that is AIAI, with us to discuss on the opportunities for MSMEs. He will also talk about the challenges for Indian startup enterprises and MSMEs in terms of sustaining their businesses in the current scenario. Thank you so much, Mr. Kalantri, for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Roy.
Right, sir. So, how was the year 2020 for MSMEs in India?
You know, as you rightly said, the MSME are the backbone of Indian economy, and not only Indian economy, the worldwide, I will call it. India approximately, I have a figure of more than 7 crores MSME, about 30% to the GDP and about 50% to the export basket.
Oh.
This does not include the gems and jewelry. If we include that, it will become 65-70%. They provide employment to 12 crore people. It may be over 12 crore because this is 12 crore families, and produce 8,000 varieties of products. Now it has become 10,000 varieties, which are all labor intensive in nature. MSME was once a vibrant sector with annual growth of 16 to 18%, have come under severe stress. Demonetisation, the GST and the bottlenecks coming in the way of GST, and recently the outbreak of pandemic. The growth has declined to nearly 12%, 10 to 12%. It was in between, it came down to even 9%, but now it is 10 to 12%. Government should address major challenges of the timely access to working capital and term finance at a very affordable cost to MSME. If they can give it 6.0%, 6.7% to housing loan, why can't they give it to MSME, where you have even the machinery, building and everything? They have the same infrastructure. Housing also has only house. Whereas MSME, there is employment, there is running a factory, and you can say who have a track record of more than 5 years, something like that they can do. So that it's a unit which is, you don't give to 1 year old unit, but something they can do, and you could reduce the interest rate. And world over, the interest rates are very low. Somewhere it is negative. Even at 0% interest in Japan, you get the loan. So I think government should come out with this. Although the announcement of emergency credit guarantee scheme, pace of disbursement needs to be improved, because sanction is one part and disbursement is other part, which takes time. A lot of paperwork has to go into it. The provide fresh liquidity to MSME, banks adjust, while providing that, bank adjusts nearly 70% of the outstandings. Means like overdue interest, overdue loans. So that when it's 70%, you already adjusted, you are giving only 30%. That goes into salary and other small expenses. So again, the growth does not pick up.
Right.
That is to be seen.
So,
no doubt the CDB has many schemes for MSME. CDB has many schemes for MSME, and the government also has many schemes for MSME, but needs to be looked into. Also, the steel prices, plastic and other prices which has gone up has to be seen.
What kind of supports you expect from the government actually that will help the MSMEs as well as the startup companies to sustain?
MSME needs support by way of, besides financial, policy support, regulatory support, multiple laws has to go. So all these issues need to be addressed if you want MSME to become vibrant. And MSC has a potential to grow. If we are there making 10,000 products, 50% is exports, 30% of GDP, and 60% of labor, then what do you expect MSME not to? They should be soft corner, they should be given various facilities, incentives to grow further. And I think once you give them incentive to grow further, they will grow and they'll do it. Like GST has been another bottleneck. You have to rationalize GST. Whatever may be the input cost has gone up. Forget I may not pay, but my petroleum product 28%. So all this 28% what we are talking. Government should only have alcohol and tobacco at 28%. Rest all should be not more than 12%. World over, the average is 16%. So even 18% is fine, but the alcohol, other places, but that also the government is not reducing. Now they have crossed their targets. 1,15,000 crore last month they crossed, which is a big good target they have got. And I think that could be looked into. But MSME and micro sector has great potentiality to grow. Government makes the policy which is conducive to them, timely and adequate finance, without much of paperwork, and I'm confident that they will grow better and better. And they will come back to the 18% growth which they were earlier. See, even the bank credit, which was 12 or 13% with private sector to MSME, has come down to 8.3%, 8.33%, which is nothing. And in between, the private sector banks were lending more than the public sector banks. I remember before COVID, private sector was lending 45% to MSME and public sector was lending only 4%. So one has to see, you have to give them a leverage, you have to give them support financially, and you cannot say, okay, every 1 month, every 2 months, if you don't pay, become NPA.
Right.
You have to have 180 days NPA.
Right. So, sir, from this upcoming budget, do you expect any major announcement that will actually bring some harmony or in the ecosystem handholding?
I'm only hearing the finance minister saying that this will be one of the best budget. Now, I have seen best budgets. It may be a best budget, but I have seen earlier also finance ministers talking about, I will give the best budget. And I have seen sometime when the best budget was announced, the market went down by 1,200 points. That is one indicator. But nobody was happy. So, see, like demonetisation, a good scheme, but badly implemented. If government would have done first 1,000 rupees and then 500, it would have been successful. Only 1,000, it would have been more successful. Now it is said they got more money than what they have printed. That's a big question mark. Same thing GST. Our revenue secretary comes out and says, for time to discuss, this is the policy. This does not happen. You say, I'm ready to discuss today. If there's something lacuna, we'll put it all right. If there's some problem coming in your growth, I will put it all right. See, you have to be receptive to the people. After all, they are your taxpayer. There may be some stray cases of evasion, there may be some stray cases, but those are highlighted more.
Right.
Like 1,15,000 crore you got from the same people, no? You started with 60, 65,000, 85,000. And if you create a conducive atmosphere, harmonious atmosphere, you will get better tax collection. Right. And charging higher tax does not mean that you get more collection.
Exactly.
Affordable tax.
Affordable.
And it should be proper for everyone.
Right, sir. So before sir, concluding today's session, I would like to request you to, if you have like 5 things to ask from the government for the betterment of MSMEs, what are the key things you would expect from the government?
First thing is, government should reduce the interest rate and bring it on the par with home loans.
Right.
Number 2 is timely and adequate finance for the MSME. Third is, policy should be liberal, less cumbersome, and implement labor laws has to be relaxed. Then government should give incentive to small scale industry to grow, not only to large industries. Then government should allow the small industry to diversify, and the government intention should be implement. Intention good, but better implementation is
better
required.
Implementation.
And whatever they announce should be implemented in letter and spirit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vijay Kalantri, for your time and speaking to mojo4industry. With that, it's wrap on today's interactive session. Viewers, thanks for watching mojo4industry, India's first mobile journalism platform for industry. Wish you all a happy new year and bye for now.